All right. We are recording. Hello, everyone. Today is October 27th, and I call this meeting to order at 5:42 p.m. Let's get this meeting rolling, shall we? Secretary Schulte, if you can begin roll call.
Senator Shiloh. Senator Brown.
Present.
Senator McDowell.
Present.
Senator Allen. Present. Senator Lee.
Present.
Senator Banerjee.
Present.
Senator Castellanos.
Present.
Senator Guevara.
Present.
Senator Johnson.
Present.
Senator Mosley. Senator Sanchez Martinez. Senator M.
Here.
Senator Cowell.
Here.
Senator Schulte here.
All right, quorum is present. Awesome. Hopefully we can have a fast meeting today. We have executive reports, approval of minutes. For new business, we have a Senate appointment for class. We have another consideration for Supreme Court appointment. We have two pieces of legislation that are under emergency status. Just for senators to remember emergency status, read, question, discussion, vote. We go through the whole thing. Announcements and adjournment. And we have executive reports. So we can have the executive staff come to the front. Be awesome. We'll start with our intern program director, JT. We get written reports pulled up for y'all as well. JT, the floor is yours.
All right, mic check, mic check. How y'all doing, Senate? Where the energy? Oh, that's probably the best energy I had all semester. Okay, that's a little bit better. Intern, say what's up, Senate? Well, senators, I hope y'all having fun with everything y'all are doing. Only thing I wanted to reiterate was the passion projects form that I emailed all of you. By a show of hands, who received the email from me with your passion projects? By a show of hands. Now, how many of you have actually filled it out? By a show of hands. Heard. So again, as I mentioned already before, the only way that I'm going to be able to pair you with an intern with your same interests later on in this semester before the break is if you participate in our forum. Does that make sense? I want to make sure, like I said, the interns are not giving you their ideas and you're not sharing anything. Does that make sense? So in order for that to work, it's your part and then our part. And then that's how we build that partnership. So please get that filled out. Did y'all have any questions for me?
Senator Johnson, go ahead.
Just like, are you waiting to get hear back from all the senators, or is there like a timeline when we can? Because I know we're kind of winding down on the sessions too, if we wanted to partner with legislation.
Yes, I asked for those emails to be done by 5 p.m. this Friday. That way I could start it next week as far as at least having the list down. And then from there, what I plan to do is to pair everybody up before Christmas break, if that makes sense, because then I'll know who's actually coming back in the Senate and who's actually going to come back in the intern program, and we making sure we're not just pairing people who are going to leave, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you, JT. We have our now Casey presenting Alexis's report.
Any questions? All right.
Awesome. We'll have our Zoe present her report.
I did not present a report because I did not have any updates.
Any questions for Zoe? No, awesome. We'll have our next item. Matthew, Casey, you can take it away.
Any questions for Matthew? All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Casey. Maya, the floor is yours, our outreach director.
Does anyone have any questions?
Senator Johnson.
For the report for the survey results, when will that be coming out?
I can have them pulled up for you.
Will they be sent to us? So if we want to look over them personally, is this something that?
Yes, I can
Alright.
send them to you.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second. I believe, Maya, do you want to go over the report?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay, so I broke it down into a couple of different sections. So this is the first section I did, campus experience. One of the open-ended questions I asked was, if you could change one thing about your campus experience, what would it be? And these are the best / most repeated responses that I got. I also have some graphs to show like how many years people who have completed the survey have been at UNT and their experience so far. So the experience that people have felt is 4.38 out of 5, which is great for most of our first year students coming to UNT, which is great. And then you can go to the next slide. And like I said, David will be emailing all this to you. So if you guys have need any ideas or want to collaborate with anything, this is just kind of, I guess just like a bunch of ideas that y'all can work from. So for transportation, I asked how might your transportation experience be improved. A lot of them had to deal with buses, and I know that dealing with transportation and buses is a whole thing on its own, but I think there are doable things that we can do, like helping with improvements with knowing the routes, and then as well as like improving bus signs. And then I also have a survey like, how has your experience been with UNT transportation? And we got a 6.313 out of 10. And yeah, you can see that. And then if you want to go to the next slide, I have some events that people wanted to see on campus that y'all can choose from. An average of people have attended at least 2 events this semester so far. But also these were taken mostly in the beginning of October. And then if you can go to the next slide. And then I also have a slide on student safety. So this is also a great idea if you want to write legislation or do anything with events for these. A lot of them had to do with lighting and sustainability, like overflow of trash cans on campus or like use of plastic or anything. And then as you can see, like 3.78 out of 5 people feel safe walking on campus at night, as well as like feel safe in your residence halls, 4.42 out of 5. Then you can go to the next slide. And then I think this is the last slide, but it's just a bunch of other initiatives that people want SGA to focus on. So inclusion is one of them, mental health, diversity. For whenever I asked, do you feel included on campus, the average was 7.5 out of 10. So that means we have some students who feel not included on campus fully. And then for people who feel comfortable with UNT's COVID policies, 7.3 out of 10. So yeah, I hope this information is helpful to you in creating ideas, with making legislation. And if you want to work with me on anything or have any other questions, I will present some of the victory or like update it with the victory town hall, because I just had that today, but we just got a couple of responses. But yeah, I hope this is informational to y'all. Yeah.
All right, Senator McDowell.
Can I just ask, if you go back to the report, there were free responses. Are those in order of the most frequent category, or is that all the responses? Or
They aren't, but I did weed out like all the I guess non-helpful responses, but these were the ones who were repeated the most. There wasn't any that I didn't do it to where like which one was repeated the most, but they're just kind of just there. But yeah.
okay, thank you.
Senator Johnson.
On average, how many responses have you gotten for the surveys?
So just today completed the town hall circuit, and we had 66 responses. So that's out of all the town hall circuit, all of the 14. dorm halls that we visited. So that means about, on average, like 5-6 people per dorm hall.
Thank you.
Any other questions for our outreach director?
Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. We have our student allocations director.
Hi everyone. Why is like no one dressed up? I feel like left out pretty much, but hope you have a good Halloween weekend. Do y'all have any questions about my report? It is pretty straightforward.
Any question for Bella?
Cool, thank you.
All right. Our chief of staff, Casey.
Hello. I do want to thank Maya for that report. That was really good. Having 66 responses with so much qualitative data to go through is a lot to do. So I do want to say that. Nothing too crazy. There's a few more events coming up. The holiday party, the SGA holiday party on the 19th. If you have any questions about that, let me know. We also have that tailgate for homecoming weekend for that football game. And really, we're just looking at the spring semester, and we're going to start nailing down some stuff that we want to tackle and do. So any questions on my report or anything that I've said?
Senator Johnson.
For the holiday party, where are you looking at for that to be?
The President's Suite on the 4th floor of the Union.
Thank you.
Senator Brown.
And roughly what time do you feel this will be?
I think 8:30. 8:30 p.m.
Any other questions for our chief of staff? Senator McDowell.
And so do you have anything in particular to report about the Union House guidelines? Will the guidelines be changed? Are there any plans for that kind of thing?
So we actually just had our first meeting. We went over the first 2 sections. We provided our advisement to the executives that are of the union that are revising them. At the moment, there's just the first 2 sections, which is like mission statement, stuff like that, the beginning stuff. As we go throughout the year, we'll be addressing things more. But I won't have official or confirmed changes until at the end of the actual committee itself when it's presented. But
thank you.
Any other questions for our chief of staff? If not, thank you so much, Casey. Now we have our SGA president.
Thank you. This was actually kind of a calm week. So that's a lot of what I've got there. I could make a couple updates. There's a point on there. Gracie did refer a student to me who had requested more information about the judicial branch. Thank you, Gracie. I provided information to that person, and they're now an applicant. So I'll be reviewing their merits and probably conducting an interview shortly. And there will be a Supreme Court nomination for consideration in the next meeting as well, but it's not this one. So getting those filtered through. And then, yeah, I don't think there's too many other updates. That's pretty much what I've been doing this week.
Any questions for Devin? Senator Johnson, go ahead.
The meetings that you, can you go back to David real quick? Where is it? You have sent my request for meetings with the following people. What are those just to get roundhouse ideas to bring the student concerns to them, or what's that about?
Well, we try to maintain regular conversations. With some, it's easier than others just based on scheduling and all that. And particularly once the semester kicked up, it got a little harder to do some of that scheduling. But we generally try to have regular meetings with them, and that can range anything from just touching base, making sure we're on the same page, to actually following up on specific issues, to even talking about policy updates if it came to that. So it really depends on the person, the area of focus. So with a lot of these, it's a lot of touching base. We do have frequent meetings with Dr. With, and we also have COVID briefings that I attend as well. So that's probably going to be more just touching base, making sure everything's good. With Dr. Knapgross, I don't know who knows this. I apologize if I messed up her name. but that's the director for CTS. And so we're going to try to have a meeting with that person and the director for the new counseling center for diverse populations that's being created. And that's going to be a little bit more focused on the current state of affairs for CTS and how it can improve. Chad Crocker is director for facilities. There's a few things we want to talk about specifically, ranging from holiday lights to at the MHI, Menstrual Hygiene Initiative, talking about some environmental concerns. So there's a range of things that we'll be discussing with them once we get that meeting set up. Dr. Donovan is more of a touch base situation, although there might be things that come up in that meeting we'd have to see. And then Dr. Smatrisk is more of a catch-up meeting as well.
Go ahead.
Are you addressing the concerns of the raise in tuition?
So that's something I've talked with Dr. Smatrisk occasionally when we have the chance to talk. When they did the public hearing on that the last time, we did talk briefly about it. We're going to look and see if we can get a couple of representatives from Student Financial Services to come to the Senate meeting to answer questions about tuition. Still need to get some of that figured out. But in addition, I'm trying to make sure that we're having conversations about the tuition discussion. I will say, I think the Board of Regents meeting in which that's going to be introduced is in November. So it is certainly coming up. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Devin? All right, thank you, Devin.
Thank you.
Here's my report. I want to give you an update on things. Didn't meet with the Dean of Engineering. Senator Brown and McDowell were there. Something really important, Senate informationals. That'll be, our first session will be Wednesday next week on the 3rd. I'm looking to have it at around 1 p.m. Basic thing about this is I'll go over what is Senate, going over the appointment process, any questions students may have about Senate. I want to give you an update about our current membership and the breakdown of available seats. So again, we have currently at 16. We have 7 seats open for business, 2 for education, 3 for HPS and engineering, 4 seats open for class and science, 3 for CVAD, and then 1 for Frisco and New Campus. I also want to touch base on excused absences. Like I said, we're going into, it's almost the end of November. I know things are getting overwhelming. Please reach out if you can't come to a meeting or can't do office hours. If you have something urgent, please let us know. For the most part, we're really accommodating, but at the same time, this is something that's been continuing every week. I know some senators have reached out about a couple things I'm not going to discuss publicly, but please know that we want to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. So please reach out to me or any of the officers. One-on-ones. So I know I kind of talked about postponing our heart-to-heart conversation. I want to get a better gauge of how everyone's doing. That's why I'm having the one-on-one. So if you can tell me your availability for this week or next week, just so I can accommodate you, and that will excuse your office hours or tabling. So if you do it this week, you don't have to do it if you do a one-on-one, etc. Senate committee reports. They're going to be due this Sunday. Type it up, pretty simple. Also, y'all should be meeting. I know that I'm not the chair. I don't know how often y'all meet. Speaker Pro Tempore Banerjee is in charge of overseeing the committees. Y'all should be meeting to touch base about things. I know certain committees have not met at all and selected chairs or vice chairs. I recommend y'all meet and talk about discussions because the last Senate meeting of the fall semester is coming up really soon. I want to make sure that you're all having the opportunity to have conversations. If legislation is on your mind, that's being submitted ahead of time, just because I don't want it to be a situation where we're rushing towards the last meeting. The last meeting is 3 hours long because we're not being proactive about it. Last thing, got an email from Bruce Hall Association Senators, if you're interested in participating for this Friday from 5:30 to 8:30 at Bruce Festival right here at Bruce Hall for Dia de los Muertos, please reach out to me. I think it's really fun. So you can just email me that. But do we have any questions about my report? Senator Johnson, go ahead.
The absences.
Yes.
I mean, from my knowledge, did you come up with the three absences, or is that in the Constitution/bylaws?
That has been precedence from the former code of conduct.
Okay.
I believe also it refers in other government documents about once we meet those 3 unexcused absences, you'll be removed from the Senate. And I think a lot of people are nearby. Not a lot, but I'm saying a couple. I just need to double check for office hours because I haven't checked. But I will keep y'all notified if I remove anyone because of the absences. But I do not want to remove someone. So, of course, I don't want you to tell me your stuff if you don't want to. Just kind of like, hey, David, I'm dealing with some personal matters. Can't come. I won't read more into it. Just I want to make sure I'm accommodating y'all as well. Senator McDowell.
Just to explicitly answer the question, in the Senate Code of Conduct, Article 2, Section 5, subsection A, it says senators shall be afforded 3 unexcused absences per semester. And then subsection D, should a senator reach a number greater than 3 absences, this shall constitute just cause for the removal of a senator from the Senate by the Speaker. So that is in a governing document, so it's not like an arbitrary rule. It's something that we have to follow.
Any other questions for me? If not, please come to the office. Go ahead, Senator Johnson.
I just wanted to say one, thank you, Andy, for explaining that to me. And now I'm going back to you, Mr. Speaker. With senators, sorry, I realized, approaching the 3 marks, is that, I mean, obviously can't give into details, but if it's a reoccurring thing, should we maybe look into, or this might be back to the Senate internal committee, of raising the absences to maybe 5, just to give people more wiggle room?
I will disagree in the sense of we can authorize any excused absence. So if they're communicating with the officers or me, that should not be an issue if they're constantly communicating. I think we've been pretty accommodating with a lot of things. And of course, just want to highlight something, just because I think something, you have the or clause. So you either come to me or the officers. So if I say no, the officers can say yes, and vice versa. But my thing is, we can excuse as many things as possible. The only thing is we need to be in the loop of things. You don't have to go in detail about it, but as long as we're in the loop, they'll be highly appreciated, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, again, my only concern was just if it gave more people more relief when it comes to that, but after hearing that, I'd forgot about the or clause right there, so that does make me feel better. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? I know, Jada, do you have a question or no? All right, but basically, you come to us. We're here to help. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. All righty. I think that concludes executive reports. I believe we're now moving to approval of minutes. Were there any questions? Anything wrong? No. All right, minutes are approved unanimously. Move on to the next item on the agenda. All righty, it's now new business. We have a Senate appointment. Peyton, if you could come to the front. Peyton is seeking for appointment for class. Peyton, the floor is yours. You can talk about why, give your spiel to the Senate on why you believe you'll be a great candidate for class.
Okay. Hi, my name is Peyton. My pronouns are she, they. I believe that I would be a good candidate for class senator because I care a lot about diversity and inclusion, as well as reforming drug policy. So those are two things that I would do for sure if I were appointed to the senator position for class. And I also have a lot of leadership experience. So I've been both secretary and president of Social Sapphics. Before I transferred here, I was an officer in both Tulane Anthropology Club and Tulane Art Outreach Club. I've been officer in several other clubs. While I've been here, I've been the secretary for 2 years in a row of College Democrats. And another reason I think I would be a good candidate is because I want to listen to people whose voices aren't necessarily heard as much as others, especially disabled students, because they have a lot to say, and I think they're getting ignored. Any questions for me?
Bella, go ahead.
Hi, y'all. Sorry, my hand wasn't seen before. I just wanted to let y'all know that Peyton is a secretary of UNT College Democrats, of which I'm the president of. I had no influence in Peyton applying for Senate. I didn't even know she was applying until she met with David, really. But just letting you know that there's a conflict of interest. I'm not voting, though, but just for transparency.
Appreciate that, Bella. Senator Johnson.
Hello. Just as another class senator, I think all of your points and passion is very well articulated and that you have good goals. But what plan of action should we appoint you to address those concerns?
Before you answer the question, Senator, would you mind moving to a period of questioning? You're totally good. No, you're recognized. You go ahead.
I move that we go to a period of questioning.
Senator Cowell seconds.
Awesome. You can proceed.
Do you need me to repeat my question?
No, I think
Okay.
I got it. So my plan of action would be to start with the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I've been interested in that since before I applied to Senate. I attended the State of the Undergraduate Student Body to support Bella because she's my friend. And I decided that why should I not apply for Senate when I care so much about the people around me? And so I would like to be part of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee to make legislation to make the ODA easier to access for disabled students.
Thank you. That answers my question thank you so much.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions? Senator Cowell, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I have 2 questions. Is that okay?
That is
Okay,
totally fine.
my first one is, what's your major? What are you studying?
My majors are linguistics and Spanish, and my minor is French.
Great. My second question is, if you were to be appointed to the Senate, would you be willing to work with me on accessibility legislation? That's something I've been working on so far.
Yes, that's something I would very much love to do. That's a passion of mine. As a disabled student who uses ODA services, I think that there are a lot of improvements that could be made to make campus more accessible.
Great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Senator Brown.
So one thing that a lot of the senators have struggled with in the past and has caused a drop in membership is time commitments. Are you going to be able to commit the time it requires, which would typically be 3 to 4 hours a week for the Senate?
Yes, I love to go all in on things. That's why I've been officer of so many clubs, is because when I commit to something, I commit to it fully and totally.
Okay.
Sorry about that. My mic died. Senator Banerjee.
Hello. My question was actually about the policy that you mentioned you were interested in. You said drug policy reform. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, would you mind elaborating a bit?
Yes, so I'm co-president of Students for Sensible Drug Policy. I believe in ending the war on drugs, and in that vein, I want to end policing on campus as far as drugs. So I want UNTPD to have less power to arrest students for drugs because that disproportionately affects minority students and students of color.
Senator Lee.
First off, your linguistics major, awesome. Me and Senator Allen are also ling majors, and I'm also a French minor, so this makes me a lot happy. This is like more linguistics majors than I've ever met, like anywhere else. So my question is, I think this is something I've been asking everyone who's been in the process of appointment. A lot of times, we only have so much oversight in the way that we can affect different departments. Like a lot of times we'll just kind of put our stamp of approval, but it doesn't necessarily get enforced. So how would you handle a situation where, or even, a passion project that you put forward and it either gets shut down in the Senate or it doesn't make it as far as you'd like? How would you handle that situation?
I say that if you fail, you can always try again. So if the Senate didn't agree one time, that doesn't mean it's down forever. So in the future, there might be a time when the Senate does agree. There might be a time when the university administration does agree that something I believe in should be made true.
Any other questions? Any other motions on the floor? Senator Johnson.
There we go. I move that we go to a period of closed discussion.
Senator Guevara, seconds.
Awesome. Peyton, now we're in a period of closed discussion. If you wouldn't mind taking your belongings and hanging out nearby Fuzzies for a little bit, whenever we'll bring you back, Senator Banerjee will inform you of our decision.
Okay, thank you.
Senator McDowell.
Just to clarify, you can hang out by the second floor syndicate. You don't need to go all the way downstairs.
Thank you for that clarification.
The third floor? I mean the third floor.
Okie dokie. All right. Now, Senator Johnson, you have the first discussion point.
Honestly, I like her. I did not know that the drug policy here is that critical, especially for a college campus. Yeah, that just kind of wraps up my point. Actually, it's just I think she's a wonderful, and I'm gonna lie, the class senators kind of have it together in numbers. Just putting that out there.
Senator Cowell.
Yeah, I like that they brought up, issues with the ODA, and it's nice to hear that they're super open to collaborating on that. So I'm in favor.
All right. It seems like we have a consensus. I recommend that we move to a period of voting. Senator Banerjee.
To recognize JT in the back.
Oh, sorry. JT, did not see you. Is there a second for that reckoning?
McDowell, seconds.
Awesome. JT, you have the floor.
Yeah, I don't have any. I know we can't vote, but I just wanted to say it was very nice to hear. I've never heard anybody for the first time hear them say, like, even if something doesn't work out, they would still push. And I think that's something that this Senate needs. I think it's something that SGA needs. So I'm very happy that they said that. And I hope that they, I hope that I can even work with them to help. I love people like that say, even if something doesn't work out, we can still push. We need more of that in SGA. So, yeah.
All right. Any other motions? Senator Johnson, go ahead.
Point of information, real fast.
Yes.
Peyton is non-binary and uses they pronouns, so please use them correctly.
On the slide, it said she, they, and that's how they introduce themselves.
Guys, please raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you for clarification, Bella. Just make sure we're raising our hand to be recognized to make any discussion points. Okay. Any other, Senator Johnson?
I move that we go to a period of voting on the appointment for the class senator.
Is there a second?
McDowell, seconds.
Does anyone object? All righty. Senator Secretary Schulte, if you can start roll call.
Senator Brown,
Aye.
Senator McDowell,
Aye.
Senator Allen,
Aye.
Senator Lee,
Aye.
Senator Banerjee,
Aye.
Senator Castellanos,
Aye.
Senator Guevara,
Aye.
Senator Johnson,
Aye.
Senator M,
Aye.
Senator Cowell,
Aye.
and Senator Schulte, aye.
I believe all votes were in the affirmative and the appointment passes. Senator Banerjee, if you can let Secretary, or it's not Secretary, Senator McFarlain that they were appointed to the Senate. And we're going to wait before Peyton comes back in the chamber. But next item on the agenda is consideration of the Supreme Court appointment. We have Harlie in the room. We're just going to wait until Peyton and Selene comes back in the chamber. I'm currently thinking about Jeopardy. Jeopardy music is in my head.
You can go back to the Halloween music. I'm not gonna lie.
We will get monitored or get blocked.
Mr. Speaker, can we chit chat while we're waiting?
Yes. We can allow that for this small period of time. Senator McFarlain, congratulations. Since you were appointed to the Senate, if you would like to join us up in the first two rows, you're more willing to do so. And for clarification, maybe this was my mistake. Your pronouns are she, they, correct? Yes. Do you prefer one or the other?
I would prefer people to use both.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know there was a little miscommunication. Senator, would someone would like to recognize Devin to speak? Senator McDowell.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize Devin Skinner.
Senator M. seconds.
Awesome. Devin, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, thank you. Per usual, I'll give my disclosure. Harlie Montez is the Vice President of the Latinx Hispanic Student Union, which David is the Chief of Staff of. To the best of my knowledge, there isn't another conflict of interest, at least for the parties that were involved in the decision of the candidate.
Harlie, if you would like to come to the front. Before you give your spiel, just in case, I know last time people wanted to know the responsibilities of the justices of the court. You can find that in Article 6, the Supreme Court, right here. Alrighty. Harlie, this time is yours to present to the Senate why you believe you'll be a great candidate for the Supreme Court. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for your consideration to the judicial branch of the Student Government Association. I will be using my phone because I'm a bit nervous, and not only that, but I think that I wrote down some good points here in case I have anyone ask me any questions. But yes, my name is Harlie Montez. I am currently a senior at the University of North Texas, so this is my final year. I am a political science major with a minor in history and a certificate in Latin American and Mexican American studies. So that's a little bit about my academic background here at the University of North Texas. I believe I would make a good candidate of the judicial branch of the Student Government Association. For my leadership experiences, so I am the vice president of the Latinx Hispanic Student Union. I previously served as the vice president of MUEVE, which is a organization on campus dedicated to the socio-political advancement of minorities, specifically Latin American and Hispanic minorities here at the University of North Texas. I'm also the vice president of the Fly Peer Mentorship Program, and I currently serve as a PR executive for MUEVE as well. I have also worked on campus in multiple positions in the kitchen and also currently for the Career Center as a marketing assistant. So I have been heavily involved on campus throughout this is going to be my 5th year and my final year on campus. Hopefully I will pursue my master's in public service and public administration after I graduate. So my leadership experiences make me a good candidate, but also my dedication to the position if I were to be chosen and appointed to the Supreme Court. My ultimate goal, if appointed to the Supreme Court of the Student Government Association, would be to serve as a leader and someone who any person on campus or a part of the Student Government Association feels comfortable to uphold the integrity and the rules and regulations of any and all student governing association documents, such as the Constitution, the bylaws, and things of that nature. So that's why I believe I would make a good candidate. Yes, if anyone has any questions, of course.
Senator McDowell, go ahead.
I move to a period of questioning.
Senator Brown seconds.
Senator McDowell, you have the first question.
So my question is, and I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds, do you think your connection to other members of the SGA could sway decisions when you serve as justice if you're appointed?
No, because prior to getting familiarized with the governing documents, the main goal of SGA is to ensure that every and all student voices are heard on campus. So that would be my main priority going into any kind of judicial hearings or judicial judicial choices. So I do not believe that it will.
Follow up, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Would you be willing to recuse yourself if such a conflict of interest may arise?
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Johnson, go ahead.
Just as Rachel did, I just want to give a shout out to political science major. Hello.
Hello.
My question is, have you looked at the Constitution and bylaws yet prior to being the process of appointment?
Yes, I have. In particular, I made it a point to sort of familiarize myself with the parts of the governing documents that include the judicial, executive, and legislative branches. So, for example, Article 4, 5, and 6 of the Constitution itself, and things of that nature. Of course, I'm not familiarized with all of it, but yes, I did look at them.
Well, thank you so much.
Senator Brown, go ahead.
You mentioned an interest in pursuing your master's. Is that something you're looking to do here at UNT, or have you decided yet?
Yes, I look forward to doing it here at UNT or possibly in my hometown of San Antonio, Texas. But yes, I would love to be a part of the public administration and public service masters here at UNT.
Thank you.
Well,
Senator Cowell.
Hi, thank you for coming in.
hello.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is my understanding that Supreme Court, when cases arise, they need to be handled quickly, right? Do you think, they need to be addressed quickly? Do you think that with your schedule, since you're so involved on campus, do you think that would be a possibility for you?
Yes, I plan to make because, not only because it is just SGA, but because SGA is the largest, one of the largest organizations on campus, and the organization responsible for representing the entire student body and the constituency here in the Denton campus in particular. I will be dedicated and determined to complete my duties as quickly and as ethically and effectively as possible.
Any other questions for or any motions? Senator Johnson?
I move that we go to a period of closed discussion.
Senator Guevara seconds.
All right. Harlie, if you mind stepping out, taking your stuff with you, hanging out by the syndicate on the 3rd floor. Yes. And Senator Banerjee will come bring you back or inform you of the decision of the Senate.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded that we're in a period of closed discussion. Senator Johnson, you have the first discussion point.
Again, I think this is a worthwhile candidate. I think Senator Cal brought up a good question about time commitment should anything come up. That again, that's just my 2 cents. I think she will be a very well-placed justice.
Senator Brown?
I agree that she is a good candidate, especially when they mention wanting to do a graduate program. I always make sure to ask where they're planning to go, and her desire to do it here at UNT means that any decision she makes will affect the rest of her experience moving forward.
Any other discussion points? Senator Cal?
I move to a period of voting.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Does anyone object? All righty. Secretary Schulte, we can start roll call vote.
Senator Brown?
Aye.
Senator McDowell?
Aye.
Senator Allen?
Aye.
Senator Lee?
Aye.
Senator Banerjee?
Aye.
Senator Castellanos?
Aye.
Senator Guevara?
Aye.
Senator Johnson?
Aye.
Senator McFarlain? Is it
It's McFarlain.
McFarlain? Okay,
Aye.
awesome. Senator M?
Aye. Aye.
Senator Cowell?
Aye.
And Senator Schulte? Aye.
I believe all votes were in the affirmative, and Harlie is appointed to the Supreme Court. Senator Banerjee, can you inform our new justice of the decision? Move on to the next item on the agenda, F 2021 B1, Senate office hours requirements. And just a reminder to the Senate, this has been placed under emergency status, so we're going through the whole process, and y'all will get to vote on that as well. Let me get that pulled up for you, Senator McDowell, and the floor is all yours.
So first off, I'm just going to read it. F 2021 B1 Senate office hours requirements. Whereas the bylaws should provide as much flexibility to the Senate to govern itself as possible. Whereas senators have reported better student engagement during tabling than office hours. Whereas the efficient use of a senator's time would be best determined by that senator, and ineffective mandatory office hour requirements can hinder this determination with no benefit. Let it be resolved that Article 1, Section 4 of the Senate Code of Conduct be amended as follows. I'm just going to read the amended parts. Added is subsection A, senators are required to complete either at least 2 sessions of tabling a month or at least 2 sessions of office hours and at least 1 session of tabling a month. Each session shall be at least an hour long. The sessions will not occur within the same calendar week. The sessions will be on a school day as determined by the university. Also insert or tabling after office hour in subsection C, and strike staff and replace it with officer. So it now reads by paid executive officer. And strike tabling is an option for office hours, but senators must table once per month, university policy permitting. Let it be further resolved that the numbering in the Senate Code of Conduct be amended as necessary. Let it be further resolved that Article 1, Section 5, Subsection C, Item C of the SGA bylaws be amended as follows. Strike at least one office hour per week on school days and replace it with office hours or tabling sessions as required by the Senate Code of Conduct. Let it be further resolved that previous absences from office hours from the fall 2021 session be excused. Let it be further resolved that the president or vice president shall inform all senators of the day this bill was ratified within 24 hours of ratification. Respectfully submitted.
Alrighty. Before we move on to anything, Harlie, congratulations. Harlie will now be our third justice on the court. Just want to throw that out there. Are there, Senator Johnson, go ahead.
I move that we go to a period of discussion.
Senator M seconds.
All right, we're in a period of discussion.
Point of information. Can I object to that?
You may.
Okay, then I object.
All right. Let's do a vote by hands. All those that want to have a period of discussion, raise your hand. All those that are opposed? Yes.
If we move from one to the other,
That is correct.
add my vote.
So let's do a revote just to make, so I believe Senator Cowell wants to move first to a period of questioning before a discussion. You can do it in any order, but
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
I recall my motion.
All right. Any motions on the floor? Senator Cowell.
Senator Cowell moves to a period of questioning.
Senator Johnson seconds.
Sorry, I have like the worst luck. We're now in a, it was been moved and seconded that we're in a period of questioning. Senator Cowell, you have the first discussion point.
Okay, my first question is for Andy, but I'll wait. In the meantime, Mr. Speaker, would you mind scrolling down to the next? Let it be resolved. Yes. Or sorry. Never mind. It's up there. Sorry. Andy, I'm just curious why you have the let it be further resolved that previous absences from office hours be excused. Why did you include that?
I included it because I felt that office hours were unnecessarily cumbersome, and I didn't think it would. They were really necessary, and I think, you know, if we're changing it, we should probably strike absences in the past. I would, if the Senate wishes it that way, I'd be totally okay with striking that. My opinion is that if we're changing it now, I don't know that past office hour absences really matter. But,
okay, thank you.
Senator Johnson.
So from my understanding, that can you go up to the first highlighted portion? Thank you, David. So is there they have an option to either do 2 tabling sessions a month or 2 sessions of office hours and a tabling a month. So either way, someone's going to have to do tabling.
That's correct.
Was there any consideration or thought process to doing office hours or tabling?
There was consideration, but I think tabling truly is critical because that's the best way to get student outreach. And I think it's necessary for senators to make ourselves available in a public setting, almost as if like a public forum sort of thing. I truly think it's critical to our job, and I think we should be going out there at least once a month. Me personally, I table 4 times a month. So
Go ahead, Senator Johnson.
So I mean, from my understanding, we still table once a month now, correct? That's the requirement now. So this whole bill would just put a lenient on the office hour requirements of once a week.
yes, so you can either have two office hours and 1 tabling a month, or 2 tabling a month. And this is a minimum. You can certainly do more than this, but
Thank you.
Would someone like to recognize Devin to speak? Senator McDowell?
I move to recognize Devin Skinner.
Senator Allen, second.
Devin?
Hello. Thank you. So going to the resolved section on the excusing of absences. If you could scroll down, thank you. So I just need this information when it comes to the execution of this of this bill. In the code of conduct, I believe there's a section that refers to. So it's the vice president or the officers that have the discretion to decide whether or not something is excused. And then on top of that, if they decide that an absence should be excused, there needs to be a written general reasoning as to why the excusal was made. So if all previous absences from office hours for this fall session were excused, under the code of conduct, would there be an expectation that there be a written general reasoning for each absence per the code of conduct?
If the Senate feels that they want additional reasoning, I can certainly provide that, although I feel the legislation is explanation enough. But if the Senate wants that, I will certainly provide that.
Senator Johnson?
If there are no further questions, I move that we go to a period of discussion.
Senator Cowell, seconds.
All right. We're now in a period of discussion. Senator Johnson, you have the first discussion point.
These mics, y'all. So I do have a little bit of a problem that I don't know if any other senator has had this come up, but I've actually had more success with my office hours. I have yet to have an office hour where I do not have a constituent coming to talk to me. When I'm tabling, they just come for the free pins, and I'm quickly trying to get in what a SGA is and if they have any concerns. So I'm kind of maybe might want to, when we get done with the discussion, an amendment to say, or just office hours or something along the lines of that, to where it doesn't impede the work that I'm doing, but as well as other constituents can have one-on-one and meet their senators.
I was going to add, if anyone would like to make an amendment, you can, just have to be recognized for that. But Senator Brown.
So since we're already amending it to basically changing how we're doing everything to tabling and office hours and tabling instead of just excusing absences for office hours, I think we should excuse all tabling and office hours absences in general, just to make a clean slate for the senators who are still here, especially since, we do have, it might be something to consider since we do currently have a retention problem.
Senator Lee.
Okay, so I think my main issue is that it's required 2 sessions of tabling, and I hope this doesn't come across as lazy, but I do definitely think that tabling is a lot more productive, and I agree that it has been beneficial for me. Sorry, Grant. It's been much more beneficial in talking to people than office hours, but tabling requires several forms. I personally, and I know some other senators have had difficulties like getting things approved in time, and maybe that's like I just need to start planning super ahead because now it will be scheduled every 2 weeks. But I think if the goal is to take away stress, I feel like requiring 2 sessions of tabling per month personally, because as even if office hours aren't always super productive, I'm able to get stuff done and not, even if I'm not super talking to constituents, and it doesn't take as much time and planning, and there's less elements that could fall through as occurs with tabling.
Senator Johnson.
Just to kind of go off what your concern is, Rachel, my concern isn't just eliminating or do this or that. It would be adding it onto where senators are required to complete. It'd be like a subsection C and have that to where senators who can do the once a week thing can do that, or do the 2 hours a session.
Yeah, I
kinda
think
thing.
if it was, sorry if I'm allowed to. Yeah, I think doing like either office hours or tabling would be beneficial and less stressful.
That was the point that I
Yeah,
raised.
I'm
So
saying
so we agree.
Yeah, so I agree on
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I don't think, I don't talk to people during office.
That's
Still
cool,
beneficial.
yeah.
So
It sounds like y'all want to make an amendment.
yeah, also real quick, let me just like clarify. So would not section B or like subsection B not satisfy y'all like issues with it? I'm confused.
Go
Um,
ahead.
I have no problem with that, just because there are senators who do need a little bit more leniency in their schedules. I believe that. I think it would help out with a lot of the problems of the retention of senators staying is the time commitment. My thing would just be, again, adding to where because we have everything else underneath the sun except just office hours as an option.
Senator Brown.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Lee, but you are saying instead of doing 2 tablings, sticking closer to what we have now. However, it's my understanding that that's kind of what section B is, but instead of doing 3 office hours and 1 tabling, you only have to do 2 office hours and 1 tabling. So it actually frees up 1 week of your
That
schedule.
only frees up 1 week though. I just personally, I'm one of those people where it's taking off 1 week does really not make me feel better.
Well-
I would much rather prefer, and that was kind of the point of my discussion. I didn't want to make an amendment yet. I was kind of getting a feel of if anyone else feels that way, or if it's just like, I'm just a
Well,
busy person. You know?
Right, and I kind of
If I can step in before we have more discussion points. It seems like y'all want to make an amendment. It seems like you want more flexibility. Instead of having more discussion and talking over each other, if y'all want to see something changed and we can talk about that proposed amendment, we can do that. That will prevent us going in circles about, I want this, no, I want that. Does that make sense? I recommend y'all make an amendment for what you think would be better, or would be best accommodating to the Senate. That way, that can eliminate recurring points. Senator Johnson.
I move that we go to a period of amendment.
Senator Schulte objects.
You can just say, I
You
move
just
to amend X, Y, Z. The floor is open for any motions. Senator Johnson.
I move that we amend
To what?
to add on part of section 4, subsection A, that we add, what's it one of the little A's and B's?
Yeah.
Item.
Okay.
A C clause.
A C clause.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to highlight this in a different color.
And y'all, this is, I don't know if I'm putting this in
Okay.
there right. So
Just let me know what
okay.
type.
And I do apologize. I do want to be a lawyer, so I'm really ashamed I don't have the good legal jargon yet. So that or a senator can opt out or something like that. Go to office hours and not tabling that month. Well, how many? 4 sessions of office hours. 3.
Yeah, only one person at a time. So what I'm hearing is adding or. You're not recognized. Give me 1 second. I need to finish this first. One thing at a time. Remember, I can't type.
The office hours, David, not tabling.
Is there a second?
Senator Brown objects.
There's no second.
McDowell seconds.
All right. Now y'all can consider. I can talk about this motion. Oh, wrong color. Let's do. Okay.
Orange for Halloween.
Let's do this color. Sorry. It's gonna. Senator Brown.
The current idea with A and B is that because tabling requires so much extra effort, it counts for 2 office hours sections. That's why we're currently going down from 3 office hours on a tabling to either 2 office hours and 1 tabling, with being a total of 4 if you count a tabling as 2, or just 2 tabling. So it would have to be, for me to be able to approve this amendment, it would have to say at least 4 office hours a month.
Senator McDowell.
So the purpose of this legislation was not necessarily so we could do less, but so we could determine how we use our own time. I'm not saying only use 4 hours a month on Senate. I'm saying, well, let's cut back on the requirements so we can determine how to use our own time. I'm concerned that this is going to limit how accessible we are to our constituencies. While it may have worked for some people, from the conversations that I've had, the general consensus is that tabling works better as an outreach method. So I do not support this amendment. The second was just so we could consider it. Thank you.
Someone like to recognize Devin to speak.
Senator M recognizes President Devin to speak.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
All right, Devin, go ahead.
This is very much Senate business, so I'm not going to speak on it too much. I will say I think policies that interact with students at an adequate rate is important, but it's up to the Senate, I think, to decide what that needs to look like. The biggest reason why I spoke up is actually quite minuscule. If the amendment proceeds, please correct session to be sessions.
Okay. Senator Johnson.
So again, the purpose of this amendment is to make it to where each senator is able to adapt to what works best to reach their individual constituents. This will not limit us what a senator can and cannot do. In fact, it frees up more time for them to see what works and what's not. As Senator McDowell said, that some of the other senators are having more success with tabling. This would give it to be where senators who have more successful office hours have that option. With that said, I also amend the amendment to have at least 4 sessions of office hours a month.
So we're striking 3 to 4.
Yes.
Dow seconds.
All right. So, okay, we're only discussing this last portion. Okay, Senator Brown.
Thinking about it similar to how the responses from Senator McDowell and President Skinner, we also have to think about what kind of, how this looks for senators moving forward. And one of the fears might be a senator who is using this to pad their resume in the future. Not that I believe any of our current senators are, but this is also going to be set up for future administrations. And my concern is that they're going to choose office hours just because it's easier just to go into the office, set up a sign and sit there instead of doing the tabling that would, for most, not all, but for most, allow them to reach out to students.
Senator Schulte.
Senator Brown, I understand what you're saying, but it's not our job to worry about future Senate. I mean, sure, yeah, to an extent it is, but no one can know another person's business in the future, I hope that future senators wouldn't do that, but we can't necessarily prevent them from doing anything. What if they just amended back to having more or less office hours anyways? So what difference does it make?
Senator Cal.
Before my point, David, can I amend this blue?
You may.
Okay. Senator Cowell would like to add, with the approval of the Speaker of the Senate at the end of the clause. It would be up to David's or whoever the VP's discretion if they think that, I think Personally, for my college, tabling is the most effective way to reach my constituents. If another senator, if that's just not working for them, I understand. I agree with Senator Brown's point about, wanting to keep us active in our communities. And so I think, leaving it up to David on whether or not he thinks we're doing our jobs in this regard of being active, holding us accountable, I guess is my
Senator
goal.
Brown seconds her amendment to the amendment.
Alrighty.
Senator Johnson objects.
Okay. All those that want to consider consider adding with the approval of the Speaker of the Senate, raise your hands. Any that object? All right. It's being considered, so it's still there. Senator, go ahead.
I'll say something, but first I'd like to recognize President Devin to speak. It's gonna.
That's totally fine. Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Devin, go ahead.
I appreciate Senator Luke for the motion. I could be incorrect, and Andy can correct me if I am. For future reference, I think if there's an amendment to the amendment, then the business on the amendment to the amendment has to be discussed and voted on before another amendment can be made to the amendment. I'm sure that was quite complicated, but in other words, it's my understanding that in normal order, the 3 to 4 would have to be voted on before you can make another amendment to the original amendment. And I just wanted to throw that out there before we got too far into this.
I mean, that's correct. I thought we had approved it, but I guess I missed that.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that first. Let's approve at least 4 sessions of office hours a month.
Point of information.
Yes.
Can Senator Schulte, as the secretary, confirm or deny whether his amendment to switch it from 3 to 4 was seconded?
Was it Senator Johnson that wanted to move it from 3 to 4?
Yes.
And I believe Senator Cowell seconded.
I meant to. I may not have.
Okay.
I have Senator McDowell written down.
Okay. Okay. Y'all scaring me. All right.
As a further point of information, since it was not objected, does that not mean it passed? Therefore, we didn't have to vote on the amendment to the amendment, since it wasn't objected?
Senator McDowell?
To sort of expedite this, does anyone object to changing it from 3 to 4? If no one objects, I think the point is moot, and we can consider it unanimously approved, and we can move on.
So is this completely approved? This portion? Does anyone object? No, I'm making it yellow now. Because it's okay. This stays. Before we move forward, because I think we're going in circles, from my perspective as this person that verifies and handles this, my personal opinion of this is we're having too many systems in place that makes it harder for me because I can't track. If you decide to do it if you decide to okay. My concern is having multiple systems and they're not being consistent. I recommend that if the issue is the number of sessions, I think we need to have a minimum in place for flexibility. I think when you say tabling or office hours, y'all can determine how many sessions with stuff that would make my life a little bit easier because now we have 3 different sessions or 3 different systems in place for office hours or tabling. And I think that's a lot because that have to mean I have to constantly keep track of each individual senator. I think there should be one system in place. That's what we currently have to make it easier. on not just me and everyone, because having multiple systems, that will just create more confusion for everyone. And that's just a suggestion. Senator Schulte.
Senator Schulte moves to amend it to say,
Yeah, so I would recommend approving or not approving the portion in yellow and green or blue.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
What was the reasoning behind adding it with the approval of the speaker? Did we ever clarify that?
I believe Senator Cowell made it a point that she wanted to give me the ability to decide if that was, I will let you talk, Senator Cowell.
Yeah, I wanted David to have the ability to make sure that we are doing our jobs in reaching out to our constituency via office hours / tabling.
Point of information.
Yes.
She moved for that amendment and it was seconded.
And
I know it was
objected.
objected and then voted on with a raise of hands that passed, to my knowledge.
Senator McDowell?
So I think the vote was to consider it. My understanding, and I think we should probably just stick to this to keep it simple. Right now, we're currently amending. We're currently considering the addition. So what's in blue? We'll talk about only the addition because that's what's germane. And then once that's approved or denied, we'll talk about item C as a whole, which it's like a Russian nesting doll. We got to work our way out. And then we can move on to other portions. But I agree. I think if you have a point on what's in blue, you should say it. Otherwise, we should vote on it.
Senator M.
So I was actually going to say this earlier that I do agree with this idea, mostly because most senators agreed that tabling works best, but again, not every single senator works best. So I was thinking that with the approval of Speaker or Senate, that way, like a new senator or a senator can have like the first month, like it's not approved yet, and they can try tabling at least one tabling session first, and then they can be like, hey, Vice VP, tabling is not just like it's not working at me at all, like compared to the office hours I'm doing. So it's okay if I just do only office hours. That's why I agree with that idea. So that way they can have like a little trial period first, and then if it doesn't work at all and it's really office hours completely only office hours completely work, then they can ask you and then you can approve or say no. That's the idea. I was thinking that's a good idea.
I recommend to the Senate to vote on what's blue so we can consider other points. Senator Schulte.
I would like to, Senator Schulte move to recognize the speaker.
Oh, is there a second? To recognize Casey?
McDowell seconds.
Casey.
Hello, everyone. All right. I know this is a long process. It seems like there's a lot of perspectives to be heard on this specific case. It's hard to grab the perspective of 16 different people when it comes to tabling and office hours. This might be something that you might table, and the authors might send out an interest form or some kind of form to senators to get their perspective on it, because I see this going in circles for a little while. Of course, this is up to y'all. That is just my observation and recommendation.
Wow, a lot of hands. Senator Banerjee.
Firstly, I wanted to. Can you guys hear me? I wanted to say I agree with Casey's point, but I also think we should vote on this part. So I move that we vote on approving this part of the amendment.
Senator Johnson seconds.
To clarify, we're approving what's highlighted in blue with the approval of the Speaker of the Senate towards adding it to the last portion of subsection A, item C. Does anyone object to approving what's in blue? No objection, it passes. All right, everything is now in yellow.
Point of information.
Yes.
I was just checking the email that was sent out yesterday, and is it true that this is under emergency status?
That is correct. So what that means is y'all will have to vote on this. If you feel like it should not be, you can, well, I don't think you could unmove it. But y'all would have to make a decision on this whole bill as a whole. Yes, Senator McDowell.
I just some procedural things. We could also table it if you guys wanted to do that. It just needs to be, something needs to be done to it today. So whether that means tabling it and doing the interest form, or whether that means just voting it down or up. I would also like to note that now we are considering the entirety of item C. So at least 4 sessions of office hours a month with the approval. That's the thing we're voting on next.
Senator Schulte.
So I know we're in a period of discussion, but can I ask someone in the crowd a question?
Sure.
Can I ask our chief of staff a question?
Would someone like to recognize Casey to speak?
Senator Schulte recognizes Casey to speak.
Senator Johnson second.
All right, Kate, go ahead.
Let me write that down. Hold on.
What am I speaking about exactly?
Oh, sorry. Let me ask my question.
Senator
Okay.
Schulte would like
Okay.
to ask you a question. That is the first time that we've ever done that, asking the audience questions.
Who seconded?
It was seconded by Senator Johnson. And I would appreciate if y'all would help out Senator Schulte talking in third person. I know it's been a minute, just so we can get accurate minutes. But floor is, both of y'all have the floor.
Okay, so obviously we hand out fluff stuff while talking, whether that's like t-shirts, canvas bags, stickers, pins. I don't like, would it be reasonable to table this many times from your opinion as like the budget guy if we're handing all the stuff out? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it's hard to track how much we actually lose and or give away during tabling sessions. I don't see it as unsustainable. We do have a decent sized budget for promotional items, and we're trying to order stuff as well going forward. Pins, we have a ton of pins. We probably have 2,000. Planners, we have 3 boxes full. Tons of planners. Canvas bags we're low on. I know we have a lot of backs, as well as we also have some new stickers. So I think when it comes to tabling, you're good. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that we're not like overdoing our budget or anything before we
No,
approve this bill.
no, we're good on my side.
Senator Cal.
Okay, I have a discussion point, but I also, before that, I would like to recognize President Skinner.
Senator Johnson seconds.
Devin, the floor is yours.
Can y'all hear me? There we go.
No.
Okay.
Just make a joke.
The concept of postponing or tabling the legislation. Hello?
Let me do this.
I think it's dying, Devin.
Hello? The only, I don't know, it works every time I tap it. The other one's dead. I'll just keep going. The only thing I would say is if y'all postpone or table this, and there's a senator who reaches the 3 absences, once David checks it, there's a possibility someone could be removed from the Senate because the clause excusing absences wouldn't go into effect. And if David doesn't have a reason for the excusal, then it's possible you could be losing senators. So I would just keep that in mind as a potential if this does get postponed.
Senator Cal, I believe you have a discussion point.
Yes, okay. So this, obviously, David mentioned these 3 different systems is going to be a lot for him to keep up with. What if we did something slightly different? And the structure of it was we have a certain number of credits, like outreach credits, whatever you want to call it, that we have to achieve each month. And office hours is worth 1, tabling is worth 2. And so within the month, although you just have to get enough credits if you want to do tabling or office hours, mix them up. So David only has to keep track of one thing and making sure that we reach 4 every month, no matter how we want to do that. Is that something that you guys think would be effective? David, would that be helpful for you?
Let me understand that first. Are you suggesting a point system?
Yeah. Well, not a point. No, like
A credit system.
A credit system. There's inside jokes with the fun fact. Y'all removed the SGA Senate point system. Had different things. Senator Brown, go ahead.
I have 2 things.
Go ahead.
One thing is based on that. As it stands currently, that's very similar to what you're discussing, and I can actually just help you make an Excel spreadsheet that'll help you basically set that up to help it be easier for you. Sorry, did you have something? Oh, okay. My other thing is I believe we are still trying to determine if C is going to be added to the amendment, which I am moving to a period of voting on that.
Is there a second?
Yes, Senator Johnson, second.
Does anyone object? It passes unanimously. Senator Brown.
Can you scroll down on the document?
I sure can. Is there a specific portion you want me to scroll down to?
Towards the bottom, one of the last let it. Okay. I move to amend the second to last let it be further resolved that previous absences from office hours and add or tabling.
Is there a second?
McDowell seconds.
Does anyone object? All right, it is passed. Senator McDowell.
I move that we refer this document to the Senate Internal Committee with the understanding that the Senate Internal Committee will submit a form to the Senate for people who are interested in discussing this document more.
Senator Johnson objects.
Senator objects.
Okay, so before we move forward, I think, to my understanding, we have questions about how many sessions, tabling or office hours. This is a suggestion that the Senate make an amendment to have only one line item. So here, y'all will determine how many sessions of tabling or office hours a month. That, I think, if you want to say, if you think 2 would be a good amount to do a month, the key word is at least. So there's a minimum. That doesn't mean you only have to do 2. You can do as many as you want. If the Senate wants flexibility on how many sessions and on the type of outreach method the Senate would like to do, I recommend the Senate make that amendment, just so it saves the conversation instead of getting in circles, and you'll make a determination. Because remember, this would protect any senators that are close to that 3rd absence. I don't want to remove anyone because of that. So that's a suggestion. Senator Brown.
Senator Brown moves to vote on the document as amended.
Is there a second? He's going to a period of voting on the whole thing.
Senator Johnson objects.
Okay. The floor is open for, we're still period of discussion. Senator Johnson.
So I don't know if this is just me, but I've heard the word amendment and all this a lot. I'm a little confused. Are we doing what the speaker suggests, having one item? And if that's the case, I suggest 2 tabling sessions a month at least 2 sessions of tabling a month, or 4 office hour sessions a month. Is that right? The four sessions of office hours at least.
Are you trying to amend what I recommended?
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to.
Would you like me to put it on the screen?
Please.
It's not gonna be an amendment to the document. I just want y'all to look at it.
Just a visual guy, sorry.
So I'm visual too. I'm gonna put this in a different color, just so y'all can.
Orange.
Oh no, it's gross. Okay, let's do that. So what I'm recommending is at least 2 sessions of tabling or office hours a month. That's it. There's no other things that y'all want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's
Point of information.
yes.
So is that, I mean, I'm just trying to put it in real terms. The office hours, that just be 2 office hours a month?
That would mean 2 sessions of tabling or office hours a month.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm listening to all of y'all. Y'all want flexibility in how many numbers, and you also want flexibility of tabling your office hours. Having one system in place will help y'all so much. It will free up 2 weeks out of the month. I think I would hope that would be healthy enough. Y'all can gauge it. Remember, we only have a month left. And that doesn't mean you stop at 2. You can do more. Because I know some senators expressed they would like to do more. I think this will give the Senate flexibility, but this is just a suggestion. Senator Schulte or Senator Banerjee, who wants to go? Y'all rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, so I like what's in green. How would y'all, I think we should also add, because some people want to do a little bit more. So what if we said at least 2 sessions of tabling or office hours a month? Or more with
I think
the
that's
approval
like
of
at
the
least
speaker.
is the.
The key word is at least, and that would just require you to do minimum of 2. And if you, that's the keyword at least, that's just my recommendation. Okay. Y'all can discuss that. Y'all can do whatever you need to. This affects y'all. I'm just trying to see it from a perspective. I'm trying to gauge all your thoughts. But this is just a suggestion. I'm going to delete it.
Just leave it.
Okay. Senator Banerjee.
Okay, so I think one of the main things that we need to do is decide if we want to value tabling and office hours equally or unequally, because that would, I think, make the difference between agreeing with David's suggestion or what we have right now. Can I also bring up another point?
Sure.
Okay, so I don't understand why you can't have 2 sessions in the same calendar week. So I guess, is it subsection B? Item B, and then
Item A. Subsection B, item A.
Item A, okay. So subsection B, item A, I don't really see why you can't necessarily do like one tabling that week and then an office hour if it happens to be that week, like especially if we're doing tabling sometimes in different buildings and in different areas. If a senator so happens to find availability in the same week, I don't really see the issue.
Point of information.
Yes.
That does mean what at least means, though, right? Because I mean, you just have to have that a month, but it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't cancel anything. It's just you have a whole month to get those 2 things in, correct?
So,
I'm just trying to understand the question. I'm sorry, Sloaney.
No, let me address both points. Calendar week. I think the biggest issue is we want to be consistent. We want to be present, so our constituents can see us active. They can come to us at any time. And Andy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, since he is the author. The reason why we want to have whatever sessions just 1 a week is so if we can engage more people. Because the only thing that will count would be 1 session for that week. You can do as many as you want, but I think we also want to make sure that we're available throughout the whole month as well. It goes with your question. Yes, you can do as many office hours tabling you want a week, but only 1 would be would qualify. That would not qualify the 2 sessions a month for just the first week of November. Does that make sense? So I think we want to get more out there, but I'm going to let Andy talk more since he's the author on it.
I mean, that's basically the idea. Consistency is key. Unfortunately, the situation we're in is if it's not unfortunately, if people don't know when we're doing things, they're not going to come. So consistency is vital. It's so important. If you're doing the same thing every week, people can come to, or even every other week, people can come to rely on what you're doing. If you have office hour, and I mean, I hate to go back to what I do, but every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, I show up at Discovery Park and I set up my table and I sit there. And I've had people come back. I've had people, you know, say, okay, I'll come back next week. So that's what the calendar week is. I'm not super attached to it. If the Senate decides that's not what they want, that it is what it is, but I think that's the value it provides.
Thank you, Andy. Would someone like to recognize JT to speak?
Senator Johnson recognizes JT to speak.
Senator Schulte seconds.
JT, you have the floor.
Yeah, I was just curious, out of curiosity. I don't know who can answer this, but my only thought and question on this, as far as the office hours, as somebody who was a former senator, is how many people are actually coming to these office hours? And from these office hours, when you get a concern, how many of you have actually wrote legislation, followed up with the department, followed up with the student on the actual concern, if that makes sense? And I think that would better help y'all determine how to be more effective, and for future senators, how to be effective. Because what you don't want is, even though I know you say we don't need to care about future senators, you do. Because it is what happens when a senator decides, when they read through our Constitution and bylaws, if they want to be attracted and actually join. And if it's actually productive, and if you all can actually prove that office hours and tabling are productive, or does the difference even matter? So that is my recommendation. I know this is a question. This is just my recommendation as somebody who's been SGA for a while. Are these worth it? Are y'all getting something out of it? And how do you make it more effective for future senators to be attracted to the position?
Senator Brown.
So, just like JT mentioned, and sorry, but in opposition to Senator Schulte, to answer Senator Banerjee's question about how do we value them, you know, there was, as some people have said, tabling does take more time. You actually have to go out, you have to set up a table, you have to get the supplies from the office and set it up. And so it is a larger requirement, a larger hassle. And as was previously mentioned, you know, somebody who comes in fresh, a new senator, they're going to look at it and they're going to just be like, oh, office hours sounds a lot easier. So that's what they're going to want to do the first month, without even attempting tabling for the most part. I know that's what I probably would have done, and many other senators who may have left by now as well. And so I have to say, I don't agree that tabling and office hours are worth the same weight, that they are not the same. I know because many of us have been concerned about not getting interaction during our office hours. And that's why I agree with what we have currently for subsection A, as opposed to the green section that David has suggested.
So I think that's an important point as well, is either what I have, because I'm going based on what you did, having requirement for tabling and a requirement for office hours, y'all will just determine how many sessions you want to have a month. Does that make sense? Does this go with what you're saying?
Well, what I really meant was kind of like what Senator Cal said with the credit system, where, you know, basically tabling, one session of tabling was worth 2 sessions of office hours, which is what subsection A with its item A, B, and C basically lists. It basically says 2 tablings a month, or 2 office hours and 1 tabling, which would be quote unquote 2 1 credit and 1 2 credit. And then section C is 4 1 credits versus, or item C is 4 1 credits versus item A, which is 2 2 credits. But ultimately they all add up to the same amount of effort put in by the senators.
Okay, that was a lot.
Without, you know, using a credit system.
Point of information.
Yes.
I'm lost on that.
I'm sorry.
I think what they're trying to say is, if we're giving more weight to tabling will be considered 1 hour tabling is considered 2 hours of office hours. Is that correct?
And that's another way we could list it. We could say 4 hours of 4 hours of office hours, or using tabling as 2 of those office hours.
Point information. Are we still on the calendar week thing? So if we have
No, that was just a discussion point.
Oh.
The floor, we're just bringing up discussion points.
okay, so then what is the schedule we're looking at as so far by week kind of thing?
So technically, what is currently in yellow. So let me remove the green.
But bring it back when it get done.
This is what currently stands. You are saying that you want at least 2 sessions of tabling a month, or 2 sessions of office hours and at least 1 session of tabling a month, or 4 sessions of office hours a month with approval of me. Senator Allen, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Okay, just to make reading everything a little easier, if we put under section A, make subsection A read something like a minimum of 4 hours must be met with like the following criteria, with like tabling being worth 2 hours and office hours being worth 4 hours. That way we don't have that mess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Credits points.
it's just something, I don't know. I don't see why like credits is like a bad thing. I wasn't around here, I guess, when y'all voted on whatever the credit system was.
The
I don't know
credit
when that
system was presented as a different idea on how to tackle the number of tabling sessions and the number of office hour sessions.
Well, if we're having trouble like determining like which is weight more and why, credit system would make more sense because that weight would be listed and it's not necessarily assumed, so that we have something concrete and calculatable to like use as a system.
I think for a lot of people, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the point system and figure out which weighs more is confusing to people. I think if you have a set number for tabling and a set number for office hours, that would clear up so much things. And I think Senator Johnson is kind of, and I don't know who else feels the same way. I think for sake of time, because it's almost 7:30, and we have another bill under emergency status that we have to vote on. And we have to do discussion, questions, and vote. I think y'all need to make amendments and vote on it, or vote on this completely as is. Does it make sense? Because I think that will be the only way y'all will have discussion, or y'all will stop making discussion points and get things done. Does that make sense? I'm trying to be more efficient. Senator McDowell.
Do people? So this doesn't want, you guys don't want to send this to committee, I think, because I didn't get a second. So what I suggest then, or let me rephrase this. I move to strike items A, B, and C from subsection A and insert in their place at least, I'll give you a minute, as an item A, yeah. At least 2 sessions of office hours, tabling a month.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Senator Brown objects.
All right, vote of raise of hands. Who wants to consider the amendment? Raise your hand. All those oppose? All right, it's being considered. The floor is open for any motions on the amendment. Senator Brown.
I can move to amend the amendment, correct?
That is correct.
I move to amend the amendment.
But before we do that, I believe we have to approve this current amendment as that's correct, Andy?
They can amend the amendment. They can move to amend the amendment. That's in order.
Okay.
I move to amend the amendment to read So the way I want it to read is subsection A, senators are required to complete, striking the word either. And then I don't know if I can change other amendments or change other sections while I'm amending this amendment.
I
or not.
recommend, let's do this. Let's vote on the strikeout portion. And vote on as well this, because we can amend all day, but I think that would help with what you want to do. Does it make sense? Or no?
I understand where you're coming from, but, and I'm probably in the minority, I'm not going to approve this amendment as it stands because I don't agree that tabling and office hours are worth the same.
And that's totally fine. Continue with your amendment. That was just a suggestion.
I want to amend it to read subsection A, senators are required to complete, striking the word either. I want to strike at least from item A. I want to change 2 to 4. I want to remove or tabling a month.
Point of information, can we object in the middle of this?
I believe he's still having, let him finish and then we can
And I
decide.
want to create item B. Tabling can replace 2 sessions of office hours.
Say that again.
Tabling can replace 2 sessions of office hours.
Okay. Is there a second?
Senator
Senator Lee
Cowles.
objects.
Senator Cowles seconds.
Senator Lee objects.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's consider this. Raise your hand if you want to consider everything in blue. That is 1, 2, 3. All those that oppose. All right, it passes. The amendment fails.
Can you say that one more time? Like, that didn't make sense to me.
So because there was a majority not to proceed with the motion, everything that's blue is going away.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, y'all.
The Senate, you can just hit Control Z and undo all the changes until everything's not blue.
Or that. Okay, so now we're considering the original thing. Senator McDowell.
I did make a mistake. I'm sorry. I moved to amend the amendment so that it reads senators are required to complete at least 2 sessions of office hours or tabling a month.
At least 2 sessions of office.
The word either
Okay.
and the sub item. I'm sorry
And
about that, guys.
that's including the original motion you made. No, or this is another motion. Amendment to amendment?
It has to be an amendment to an amendment.
Okay.
Just vote
Senator
yes.
Lee seconds.
Okay. Anyone oppose to striking out either? Nope. All right, it passes unanimously. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, Senator Lee.
Senator Lee moves to vote on the current amendment, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Is there a second?
Senator Allen seconds.
Anyone object? All right. All those in favor of the amendments as standard or as displayed, raise your hand. That means you want
Point
this.
of information, this was a motion to vote on it and Senator Brown objected to voting on it?
Yes.
Correct?
So that's what we're voting
So we're
on.
voting on voting on.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're voting on the amendment.
Oh, okay.
He objected
Just
because that was into unanimous consent, but now we're voting on stuff.
So we're on the amendment and not the legislation.
Yes.
Okay.
All those that are approving the amendment, so everything will be one line and we're getting rid of the red. Raise your hand. All those that opposed? All right. The amendment passes.
Mr. Speaker,
Secretary, yes.
Senator Schultz would like to recognize Devin in the back.
Senator Johnson seconds.
What information? What did I miss?
Okay. So, okay. Mr. President, you have the floor.
I know that this is probably unpopular of me, but I am not above seriously considering a veto of legislation that has poor grammar. There needs to be a period at the end of that subsection A.
I hope that was a
Does
joke.
anyone object to, or someone like to make that amendment?
Senator M makes that amendment.
Okay. Any object? Where is the second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Any objections? No? Okay, awesome. Alrighty. Okay. Senator Lee.
Senator Lee moves to vote on the document.
Senator Johnson seconds.
Anyone object? All right, roll call vote. Alrighty. Secretary Schulte, if you can start roll call voting.
Senator Brown,
Nay.
Senator McDowell,
Abstain.
Senator Allen,
Aye.
Senator Lee,
Aye.
Senator Banerjee,
Aye.
Senator Castellanos,
Aye.
Senator Guevara,
Aye.
Senator Johnson,
Aye.
Senator McFarlain,
Aye.
Senator M,
Aye.
Senator Cowell,
Nay.
Senator Schulte, aye.
Can you provide, Andy, what's the 2/3 threshold?
If you'll just give me a moment, I have a spreadsheet.
You're
How many
totally
people are
fine.
here?
I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 members in attendance.
2/3
Point of
is 8.
information, are we including the new senator in that?
That is correct. We are including Senator McFarlain. McFarlain has all rights as a newly appointed senator.
2/3 of 12 is 8.
8.
If it is not an absolute majority.
It's a simple, yeah. So we have, how many do we have in attendance?
We have 12 in attendance.
12.
I believe there should be 9 in favor.
10.
There was
Mr.
1
Speaker.
abstain and 2 nays.
9, yes, sorry. Okay, it passes. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. We're not gonna, we'll have voting records. Alrighty. F 2021 B2 combination of discrimination was introduced by Senator McDowell and Senator Brown. Let me pull that up for y'all. And remember y'all, this is also under emergency status. Senator Lee.
Mr. Speaker, may I move, like, are we allowed to move to approve the document as read? Or not approve, like,
Yes.
yes, what is the correct language?
I move F 2021 B2 can be considered as read or as read.
I move F 2021 B2 to be considered as read.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Does anyone object? Well, if there's any objections, or do you want to? No one objects. All right, it's considered as read. Senator McDowell, go ahead.
I'd just like to remind the Senate and any members of the Senate, so that includes interns and the student allocations director, that discussions made under executive session, although no matter what we're talking about, discussions under executive session may not be discussed in an open meeting, and so that won't be part of any discussions we have for the remainder of the meeting or any other meetings.
Point of information. Does that mean we're not in an executive decision? We're just discussing that?
What I'm
Devin,
saying,
can someone recognize Devin to speak?
Senator Johnson recognizes President Skinner to speak.
Is there a second?
Senator M seconds.
All right, Devin, go ahead.
There's actually a few points here. First of all, I don't know, but it's possible Senator McFarlain hasn't had a chance to review the document, and so it has been considered as read, but the senator does not probably know what's in the legislation. In addition, in regards to executive session, that was initially my position. Bella did show me some information, including some attorney general rulings that make me believe, and I believe Bella concurs, that it could be discussed. It's not advised, but it could be discussed. Now, that being said, if the Senate wants to continue with the policy of no discussion on the executive session, that's entirely that's in order, and that's y'all's right. But I do think that there are rulings by the Attorney General that would authorize discussion of executive session outside of executive session.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Since this information was not provided to the Senate officers, I suggest we continue with precedence, and that can be considered at a later time.
Does the Senate want to consider this matter?
Point of information.
Yes.
What are we considering?
So there's a disagreement on interpretation of executive session. Senator McDowell is saying that we cannot discuss anything that was discussed under executive session. President Skinner is saying that there is rulings from the Attorney General that prove otherwise. So essentially that it's not recommended, but it's not prohibited. Is that my understanding correct? Devin, you can speak.
That's my perspective. I always like to preface I'm not a lawyer. No one here is. And I
that
want
is
to be
also a fact.
very clear about that. No one here is. I also emphasize that if the Senate wants to continue with that policy, as Andy has described, that's also entirely within the order, and that's y'all's business. I just want to throw that out there as someone who's not a lawyer, but who did find some Attorney General rulings. That's my personal perspective on the matter.
Senator Johnson?
So if we decide to say we don't recommend speaking about it, but if you do, you do, is there any legal implications that if we decide on which side?
So what Andy said is we're not going to discuss what we discussed in an executive session.
And President Skinner saying that.
He's saying we will continue not discussing what was said under executive session unless y'all make a vote on it.
And that's my question. If we decide if we want to keep it in executive session, like in that kind of secrecy, or we open it up to the, the other side, is there any legal implications on either side?
We're not
Are we all complicit?
attorneys, but Devin, go ahead. Would someone like to recognize Devin to speak?
Senator Johnson recognizes President Skinner to speak.
Senator M seconds.
Devin, go ahead.
Grant's getting a little bit ambitious over there. I don't know. I'm a little worried. No, I'm kidding. All I was going to say is I'll reemphasize this. And so I don't think anyone's going to say definitively this is what you can or can't do because this gets into legal issues. What I will say, our Constitution, it might be our bylaws, tells us that we adhere to open meeting laws. Based on my understanding of open meeting laws, and I am not a lawyer, which I will reemphasize, there is nothing in state law that requires a student government association meeting to be an open meeting requirement. It talks about, Board of Regents and those types of entities. But as far as like a student government association meeting is concerned, I would not think it falls under that category under state law. But I will emphasize that I'm not a lawyer and take what I say with whatever weight you want to give it.
Senator Cow.
Since this is in emergency status, can I ask the Senate that we follow Andy's recommendation of upholding the president and just moving on?
So the thing is, like, I can continue as we just want to make sure you're understanding the differences. Andy already saying we're not going to discuss anything that was an executive session and right now because it's an open session. Does that make sense? So unless y'all disagree, we will proceed as stated. Does that make sense? Okay. Senator Johnson.
So basically, we would just treat this as another piece of legislation, completely clean slate.
Yes, but
you want to.
I'm just giving you options.
Okay.
But I'm going to continue as is.
Okay.
But I think what is y'all can correct me. Anything that was discussed last week under executive session will not be discussed.
And do we need a motion or vote to say, let's keep, what is it? Or are we just going
You
to
would
be
just
like
need to-
eyeball it kind of thing?
If you disagree with that,
Okay.
you can make a motion
Okay.
and y'all can vote on that. I'm trying to give you options. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? No?
Yes. And with that, I would say I move that we do what Sergeant of Arms tells us to do to keep what
So
we.
you don't need a motion to do that
Oh, we
because
don't?
he already said it.
Okay.
I'm saying if you
Okay.
think we should
I'm
talk
caught up.
about we're changing our views on it, we can make that. Does that make sense? All right, now the floor is open for any motions. So that means we will not discuss anything that was in the executive session. Senator M.
I move to go to a period of questioning.
Okay, is there a second?
McDowell seconds.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Do we have any idea what a suitable length of time is for let it be further resolved? What that period of time would be for a suitable length of time?
So a suitable length of time would be at the discretion of the communications director. I did not have an amount of time in mind. We can certainly amend it to whatever effect, whatever a suitable amount of time is.
Any other questions, Senator Cowell?
Senator Cowell moves to a period of voting on the legislation.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Does anyone object? All righty.
Senator Schulte objects.
All right. We'll vote on if we want to continue to a period of voting or not. All those that raise your hand, unless you want to.
Point of information?
Yeah.
We still. Hold on a second.
Point of information. Are we?
Let's
Okay.
deal with one
Um,
at a time.
Senator McFarlain still, unless you have you read this legislation?
I read it on TV's laptop.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that Senator McFarlain knew what we were passing and amending because it was not read aloud.
Point of information. Now that Senator McFarlain, did I pronounce that right? Can they be read into what happened during closed discussion to maybe get filled in on what the incident occurred to have voting way? Or is it like,
So this is why I gave y'all the option. Andy recommended we will not do anything. We will not discuss anything that was discussed under executive session. If y'all disagreed with that, y'all could have made that determination then. But currently we now move into a period of voting. Someone objected. So now we have to vote on continuing with the period of voting. All those that want to vote on F 2021 B2, raise your hand. All those that objects. No objections. All right, we're voting unless someone would like to recognize Casey to speak.
Senator Johnson recognizes Chief of Staff Jimenez to speak.
Is there a second?
Senator Cowell seconds.
Casey, go ahead.
I will say in the last further resolved, y'all are in voting, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak. Andy, that's up to you.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
the opinion of the parliament, or excuse me, the opinion of the Sergeant at Arms is that the motion to recognize an audience member is in order.
Is in order. Continue then.
All right. It does say within 24 hours after ratification, that it should be visibly published on the website. I assume you mean as when you pull up a page, you can visibly see the document without clicking on a link. If that's the case, I'm not sure 24 hours would be enough time. I'm not sure if we have the capability to do that at the moment. Social media is not a problem because we can post it, but being visibly published on the website might take some time. I know we've had a lot of website issues.
Point of information.
Yes.
Since we're in a period of voting and we've already started the vote, Is it too late to turn the ship around and go back to?
We can, if
Point of order.
yes.
Sorry. Can I point of order to answer his discussion point?
No.
Okay.
You have to be recognized. So okay. Everyone pause. Senator Cowell, you made the original motion. Do you want to withdraw it?
Yes.
Okay. Simple. Got it.
Some jujitsu right there.
The floor is open for any motions. Would someone like to recognize the speaker in the back? Senator Banerjee.
Move to recognize the speaker in the back.
Senator Johnson, second.
Alrighty.
If I may add, the referral that was failed, that's legislation is posted online. I was reading it before the meeting started, so that's all I wanted to bring up.
That is also correct.
Point of information, what was brought up on the website?
The referral is posted on our website. So you can look at,
Oh, never mind. I'm caught up. I'm good.
Okay. Do I need to pull it up on the website?
It's just a little confusing with the.
So the
discussion.
referral, the document of itself is posted on our website. Senator Brown.
Senator Brown moves to a period of discussion.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson, seconds.
All right, we're in a period of discussion. Senator Brown, you have the first discussion point.
To answer Casey's point that he mentioned earlier, it is not that the document itself will be published on the website visibly. It's that the
I believe there's a difference interpretation of the document.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Jeopardy music.
Never mind. I was thinking of a different document.
Any other discussion points? Senator Lee.
I move to amend the document.
All right, proceed with your amendment.
Under the second, let it further be resolved, instead of within 24 hours, okay, as soon as possible or within a week, in a timely manner. So strike within 24 hours and replace it within a timely manner. Point of information, within is still there. It was not struck out, so you don't have to end it. And it also would be in a timely manner instead of within a timely manner. Just
Is that correct or no? Is it right? No? Grammar right? Oh, I guess not. Would someone like to recognize Devin to speak? Actually, wait, before we do that, we have no second. So is this correct or no?
it's
Yes.
correct, yeah.
Is there a second?
McDowell seconds.
Awesome. Look at us being good with parliamentary procedure. Would someone like to recognize Devin to speak?
Senator Johnson recognizes President Skinner to speak.
Senator Allen, seconds.
Awesome. Devin, you have the floor.
Okay, a few things. Grammar, it's okay. Now on the visibly posting, I will say the legislation will be linked in its normal process on the normal page, as soon as we can, as soon as it's signed and as soon as we can. So it will be on the website for people to access, even if it's not initially visibly accessible. Second of all, the visibly accessible document, is that going to be on the legislation page? Which page is that supposed to be on? Because whoever's doing that is going to need to know where to place that.
Senator McDowell.
The intent of the author is that visibly published is the first page. The first page that you click. So 0 clicks in between when you load the SGA website and when you see the legislation.
Okay. Any other discussion points? Senator Schulte. Actually, yeah, on the amendment. Okay, does anyone object the amendment? It's passed. Senator Schultz, do you still have? Senator Schultz, I believe you still have a discussion point. Because, go ahead.
Senator Schulte would like to recognize Casey before my discussion point.
Is there a second?
Senator Johnson seconds.
Casey, you have the floor.
I do apologize. In the first whereas, it does state physical challenges. I think a better term would be disabilities.
To my understanding, that's currently in our Constitution. So I believe either the SGA president, senators, or any legislation that has a sponsorship from the Senate would have to make that change to represent a more inclusive and more equitable, because it's not just physical challenges. There's more than just physical challenges. Someone like to recognize Devin to speak.
Senator Schulte recognizes Devin to speak.
Is there a second?
Senator Cowell seconds.
Devin, go
Yeah,
ahead.
on that, it's a constitutional amendment which would require a 2/3 majority, absolute majority of this body and a simple majority vote of the public through a public referendum in an election. This is something I plan on addressing through the commission, among a lot of other things. This should have been amended when the change was made. So my understanding is this is taken from UNT policy, which is taken from law. And so I could be incorrect about that, but the policy has been updated since this was written. So it should have been updated the moment that happened, but because it wasn't, that's something that I want the commission to address. But it's not going to be able to happen this semester.
Okay. Senator Schulte, I believe you have a discussion point.
So I know that earlier we decided not to discuss what was said in the executive session, but I feel like this document is so vague if we don't.
Are you
Like if someone read this on the website, they would have no idea what we're talking about. There's nothing. Does that make sense to everybody?
Point of information, David, isn't the referral posted on the website?
It is, but I think what Senator Schulte is, because there's no reference about anything. Does it make sense? Yeah, no, okay. Senator Brown.
The referral was, I believe the referral was denied. Therefore, to reference the statement, a new referral would have to be made. As for that, we could reference the referral since it is a public document and posted. I feel like anybody who is checking the SGA website with any regularity or is curious about, what we are saying, has an idea of what had previously happened because the event was public.
I think what Senator Schulte is saying, because there's nothing stating in this bill, you can't make connections with anything. So she's asking for clarification on that, on stuff. Senator Schulte, continue. Sorry.
So, yeah, vague a little bit. Also, since we're about transparency, why should people have to dig on the website in order to figure out what this one bill is about? It should just be in the bill so that people know what we're talking about.
Senator McDowell.
The point of this legislation is not to refer any particular referral. It is to reaffirm the SGA's stance on discrimination and other things talked about in UNT policy 16004. So it's to reaffirm our commitment to that. It's not to refer to any referral or document or event that happened that's already been decided upon. This is to say that this is what we're about. Yeah.
Senator Banerjee.
Okay, can I do an informal gauging of like
This is a
people's
discussion point,
opinions?
so you
Okay.
can do anything.
So do we want to further amend this document?
You have the ability to do anything. This is
No,
yeah.
no, I mean,
oh,
I'm
okay.
just
You're
talking
asking. Okay, got it.
Do we want to further amend this document, or do we want to go into a period of voting? Has everybody read it? Our latest senator, do you feel familiar enough with the document?
Yes.
Okay, so then I move that.
Can I make one more discussion point before we go to a period of voting?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry, hold on just 1 second. So if the point of this bill is to just reaffirm that this is what SGA believes, can you scroll down, please? So it would only have Senator McDowell and Brown's name on it, and then be signed by the president and vice president. So if we're saying that the Senate reaffirms, should we not all be included on this?
Senator McDowell.
I would love to put everybody's name on this. That's something we've done in the past for those of us who are with us during the winter storm last semester. And I would love to do that.
I recommend that would make me type more stuff. Y'all voting it out of itself means you support it. And that's just a different interpretation of it. Senator Johnson.
Just to add on, I know you don't like typing, neither do I, David, but this is to say that even though this extra effort saying every senator put their name on this really strengthens the cause of we do not tolerate any type of discrimination. So with that said, I would like to propose an amendment.
Point of information. I'm sorry. Is it possible for somebody besides David to type out all the names on the
Yes.
document?
Yes. Whoever would like to, please volunteer. You can come up here and tap. I can move. I will do whatever. Yeah. Senator Brown, you can help. All right.
May I finish my amendment, Mr. Speaker?
Yes. Go continue. Oh, thank you, Grant. I'm really happy.
And I'm sorry about that, David. May I go,
Continue,
David?
yeah.
I'd like to amend to add every senator who is present today to have their name on this.
Is there a second?
Senator Cowell seconds.
Does anyone object?
I object.
All right, we're going to vote on adding everyone's name.
Point of information, Mr.
Yes.
Speaker. Before we go down the voting line, can we see why he objects before voting, or do we need to vote and then do that?
I believe we will have to go straight into vote.
Just to get what, you know.
But I can recognize Senator McDowell to speak, though.
I suggest we do it by college, by last name, is all I have to say.
Would that include the
I
current
could-
authors? You want to, or
yeah,
do you want
the current authors just
stay
mix them in.
as?
Mix them in.
Mix
Point
them
of
in.
information.
Yes.
Does that really require a objection to my amendment? If I'm just saying add every signature on here, the writer could put it, the typer could put it in whatever order they see fit.
So who made the original motion? Can you retract it for me?
Senator Johnson retracts my motion to amendment.
Awesome. Senator Brown.
Do we want to add everybody's name to it, or do we only want to add the senators that are here since we can't speak for those that aren't here?
I would say to have the people who are here so we don't put their name on something, like say they don't want to put their name on it.
Any motions? Senator Cowell.
I move to amend the document to include the names of all present senators organized by college first and then by last name.
Senator Lee second.
All righty. Anyone object? No objection, it passes. Alrighty. Any other discussion points? They'll figure it out. Senator Johnson.
Senator Johnson's moves that we go to a period of voting on this legislation.
Okay, is there a second?
With the
Senator
amendments.
Lee second.
All right, so we have to wait. Does anyone object to that? So it was Senator
May I
Johnson
go ahead?
moves to a period of voting after the amendment has been made, and that was seconded by Senator Lee. Does anyone object to that motion? No one objects, then it passes. We will wait for Senator Brown to add names, and then once that's done, we'll go to a period of voting. Yes, Senator Johnson.
Would you mind humming the Jeopardy theme song while we wait?
Point of information.
Yes.
Who seconded Senator Cowell's amendment?
Senator Lee. Senator Cowell.
Is it within order for the senator from the College of Music to create waiting music for the Senate?
I believe if it's on the recording, it can cause it to be banned from the website. So
No, I would be composing it.
you have instrument here?
No, I'm for the next meeting maybe. I'm a
Oh.
composition major, so.
If it's the only issue, if it becomes copyright and it can't be.
I'll just not copyright it.
Senator of Music coming out.
Okay. In the meantime, y'all can be silent and listen to your thoughts. In the meantime, until we have things on there. You know the best part is having everyone's names. If we do this ever again and copy and paste. But in the meantime, let's all just keep our talking to a minimum and just sit in silence. People are tuning in on Teams and look at the recording at this moment. I'm just going to talk for a while. I'll make sure on the timestamp there's this transition on it.
Point of information.
Yes. Who said that? Senator Lee.
The chief of staff provides some rap in the back uncopyrighted.
Can someone recognize Krista to speak?
Senator Lee recognizes Krista.
Senator Johnson seconds.
Krista, go ahead.
Ooh.
I mean, I'd say that again. Sorry. Announcements or shout outs. Yes, we can. Or would it be in order though? Yes, sure. Oh, no one goes out of it. Shout outs. All right. Any shout outs? Senator Johnson.
I know she is not here, but I'd like to give a shout out anyway. Senator Shiloh had a birthday yesterday.
I said happy birthday to her. She's awesome. Any other shout outs? Senator Allen. Make sure people can hear you on the recording.
Well, normally I'm really loud anyway. I would like to shout out Luke because guess whose organization got approved? And Rachel. I would like to
Guess
visit
it's
Rachel
Luke's and
Luke.
Rachel's.
The Tea Society is now, not the Tea Society, the Tea Club is now an official, is it Tea Society? The Tea Society is now an official club at the University of North Texas. Our first meeting is
Awesome.
November 5th.
Senator Johnson.
I know he left as well, and I know I'm giving shout outs to people not here, but to Director JT for doing all the work he's done with the interns. I've heard nothing but wonderful things of what they're doing, and I guess a shout out to the interns as well.
Awesome. Yay, Justin, you're here. Any other shout outs? Senator Banerjee.
I'm about to
Do a shameless plug. Shout out to UPC for giving David the idea to do shout outs. And we have a nighttime tunes. This is not affiliated with SGA in any way. We have a nighttime tunes next Wednesday at 8 on the rooftop, and I'm really scared that people won't come because they don't know what's going on.
It's on the recording now, so guess people have to
So-
show up.
Yes, please come. Oh, also we have breakfast bites as well.
Say what?
Yeah, at nighttime, which is a lot more fun when it's not a breakfast time.
Senator Cal.
Can I shout out Senator McDowell for cranking out legislation at a constant rate?
Yeah.
And all for our benefit.
Any other shout outs? Senator Lee.
I have two. Shout out one
Sure.
to Grant's suit because I really appreciate it.
About time I got
And the
recognition
second
for
shout
that.
out is we have another senator. So there's now 3 linguistics majors, so the rest of you are outnumbered.
Woo!
Congratulations,
She's a class
Senator
senator.
I'd like to make a
McFarlain.
shout out too.
Go
So,
ahead.
I also recognize that Grant's suit's great, but also check out JD's suit. JV, I can't say words. Yeah, but look at that. So good.
Awesome. Senator Johnson.
2 shout outs. One, obviously, to Andy for rocking my favorite childhood TV show. Way to go, Fred. And another one is to the allocations director, Bella, for being an amazing allocations director. We had a meeting yesterday for rewriting the policy or going over that, and she was absolutely amazing when it came to that. So thank you so much.
I agree with that statement. Best student allocation director that SGA has ever had.
Also, before you go, Bella, we got to get a pick since we're in. All the costume people, would y'all mind staying for a quick pick for the people who showed up?
Casey, go ahead. You have a shout out.
All right, I do have an announcement. I know this is a little more serious, but Friday, this Bruce Hall event, we really need people to go. It's
Yeah,
3
senators.
hours. If you could be there 30 minutes, an hour, please. At the moment, we don't have anyone for this event.
Senator Banerjee. Shout out.
Okay, shout out to Senator Lee for keeping the ball rolling by moving to vote on things and moving to amend things. It really helped. And whenever I wanted to move to do something, you did it. So thank you. And also shout out to Senator McDowell because tabling 4 times a month, that's pretty inspiring. And this is exactly what our constituents need. So go Senator McDowell.
Are you trying to do columns? All right. Oh my God, more shout outs. All right, y'all in a good spirit. Senator Johnson, go ahead.
2, I guess that can be considered as one. 1, obviously, to you, David, for being an amazing speaker. Vice President, willing to work with senators. Well, I don't know about best dressed. I mean, I'm right here. But, and then another one to President Skinner for all the work he's doing and trying to condense what he wishes he could say to us into a bullet point list. Love you, Skinner.
We really appreciate you, Devin, for that. Senator McDowell.
An announcement. I'm sorry, guys.
Announcements.
Senate Internal Committee has not met since we referred the document regarding. No, since we referred the document regarding
Senator appointment.
signatures on senator appointments. We haven't met yet, so we haven't done anything with that. We'll meet Friday, get it taken care of. I'd also like to remind senators that we have a feedback form that no one's used. But if you want to use it, I want to read your feedback. Please.
Senator.
Go ahead.
Senator McDowell. From my understanding, when we created it, was for if anyone had problems, correct? That was what the feedback was for?
Those feedback, problems, comments, whatever.
Okay, I just want to say, I think if we're not getting any concerns or feedback from it, I think that's a win. If we're not having that.
It
But,
is. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, just looking at things glass half full. Just want to point that out.
Oh my God, more. Okay, Luke.
So this is our plugin. I was waiting for announcements, but we were doing announcements too. Plugin is our organization, T Society, is having our first official meeting next Friday, November 5th. So if y'all want to check us out, we'll be in the Union and the org space at 341, and we'll be playing games and possibly having tea. Depends on what they say to us and if you allow it or they allow it or not. But yes, and there'll be prizes.
David's not looking, but
Sorry. Senator Lee.
Shout out to Senator Schulte for having wonderful, very organized notes.
That's right.
We love you.
Y'all should have seen the paper last week. It was horrible.
Senator Cal.
When we reviewed the information from the town halls, I noticed concerts were on there several times for things that people wanted to happen more. All College of Music concerts are free for the rest of the semester. Syndicate Jazz happens every week, all the time. So come see some events.
Also, Saloni organized a concert just a couple days ago that was free, and it was wonderful.
UPC concert, Francis Forever, UPC. Are we almost done with?
I got one more shout out, David.
We're good? Okay. I just want to respect people's time. We don't have enough. It's 8:12. I'm going to kill shout outs. I'm sorry. I know y'all loved it. All right. Roll call vote. Everyone should be on it. All right. Secretary Schulte, you can start roll call vote.
Senator Brown,
Aye.
Senator McDowell,
Aye.
Senator Allen,
Aye.
Senator Lee,
Aye.
Senator Banerjee,
Aye.
Senator Castellanos,
Aye.
Senator Guevara,
Aye.
Senator Johnson,
Aye.
Senator McFarlain,
Aye.
Senator M,
Aye.
Senator Cowell,
Aye.
and Senator Schulte, aye.
All right. All were in the affirmative. It's unanimous. It's approved. Awesome. All right. Since we're in a period of announcements, I have one major announcement to make. Okay. Going to SGA page.
Point of information.
Yes.
When is the main picture going to be updated to be us, or is that not something that's going to be happening? Because every time I go to the website,
I believe that's a process. We'll deal with Matthew, and I think there's major changes to everything, so it might take a while.
No rush.
So I don't think it will happen soon, just because we're transitioning from this platform to Modern Campus. So it's any major projects will be on hold. Okay, so get involved. So we're gonna make sure that y'all know this. If you want to help shape policy for students in the UT system or statewide, please apply for UNT System Board of Regents or the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So when you click on it, it gives you descriptions on which of each. A student regent is also a member of the Board of Regents, which is a governing body of UNT system, and a one non-voting student regent, which is appointed by the senator, not the senator, the governor of Texas. Gives you interest. Basically, you will represent the interests of the students on all campuses. So which means the Denton campus, UNT Dallas, and UNT Health Science Center, HSC. Qualifications, you have to be attending any of those three campuses, whether you're graduate, undergraduate, being good academic standing, and have a 2.5 UNT or UNT system GPA. So basically anything. The application is here. The government application is there. Please make sure that's submitted by December 3rd, before 5 p.m. and make sure you have the following. And Chris will take care of it. Here's more information. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Basically, it deals with state agency that oversees all public post-secondary education, which means I think higher education. It promotes access, affordability, quality, success, cost efficiency in states' institutions of higher education. The governor appoints a non-voting student member to represent student interests on the board. Here's the term, the qualifications. Here's where you click on the application. You also have to do governor application, submit a resume, and have an unofficial transcript. Make sure the same deadline, December 3rd, 2021, by before 5 p.m. That's on there. Any of y'all can apply for this. This will be a year position, and I don't think we've had anyone for none of both, or it's non for the coordinating board. But the the governor from the state of Texas will make these appointments. So that's something you're interested in and want to advocate on a system-wide level. I encourage y'all to do that. Devin, go ahead.
All right, so just wanted to emphasize a couple of things. The non-voting student region rotates between UNT Dallas, UNT HSC, and UNT Denton every year. And so the current one is UNT Dallas. The next time that we'll have a seat on the Board of Regents as UNT Denton is probably 2 to 3 years from now. 2 or 3 years after next year.
So this he was saying is for this upcoming year.
Yes. So this position will not be available for a very long time. So if you have an inkling of interest, or you know someone who has an inkling of interest, this is your time to apply. THECB, I believe that's an annual appointment. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Crystal, you're nodding your head yes. That's a statewide deal. Both of these positions are very important. They're very involved. And if you're passionate about there being a better environment for students across the state and specifically at UNT system, both of these positions are really good for that. I'm going to look and see if I can get the current student regent to provide some information. She's great. She's the UNT Dallas SGA president. And so I'll see if I can get some more info from her. This is something you can maybe bring up at tabling whenever you talk to someone. And I'll just reemphasize that the deadline is in about a month. So if you want to get started, probably needs to happen sooner rather than later.
Any questions regarding that? Nope. Casey, go ahead.
Yeah, just want to, if anyone's interested in that Bruce event, please come after me after the meeting, as well as Senator McFarlain and Senator Allen. I can get y'all your polos right after this meeting. So come see me after and I can get that for y'all.
All righty. If there's no other announcements, Senator Johnson, go ahead.
Can I just make one more shout out for my colleague over here, for Alejandro Castellanos?
Sure.
He is having amazing work with his research. He's helping with the professor who was in Brazil or South America. Where'd you say that was? Oh, he's back in America. But anyway, he is doing fantastic political science research and does not stop talking about it. So I just want to commend him on his wonderful efforts as a researcher.
All right. The meeting is adjourned at 8:12 p.m. I'm going to stop the recording. Everyone have a good night. Be safe.